Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This one is just a short one, basically to answer the questions that I keep getting regarding the remote control and the LCD upgrade on these Jasics. Now, it's only a quick one because they're struggling to get the panel out, and the instructions which you see there are okay, but there's something that's not quite right with it, so I'll put it right. So first of all, in order to get it to this point, the handle comes off with these two. Now, I've not shown you this because obviously sometimes it's a faff for me to get out, because the first time I started doing them I had to take the sides off, but you know what I mean, depending on the size of your hands you don't really need to. So the two screws comes off for the handle, and then you've got the metal top which comes off. Now, before, under here you've got, let me just show you here, you've got that retaining screw there, which basically you can see the little hole at the top. It goes through, it screws into the panel from behind. Now then, because it's a tight fit with a panel, you've got this ribbon cable here that they tell you to remove first. Now, I've had a lot of people where they snapped it and they're telling me it won't come off. What you got to be aware of how these clips is, if you actually look how the other ribbon cables come out, you've got these little catches on here, and the catches push out to either side. The ribbon cable then will just fall out. So don't be yanking, guys. They don't pull out. They're locked in with these little clips. You might need to use, I used a little slot head for one of them, because you struggle to get your hands underneath, but obviously it is doable, but just don't pull it out, guys. And then the other thing which I've noticed, this is the panel that's coming out, which is the standard, and obviously that's the LCD upgrade. And obviously Jasic can do it, but you know what I mean, I've done a lot of these. So what I've noticed is this, needs soldering to there. They don't mention it in the manual, but it kind of leaves that display with no earth. So unless I'm missing something, I always desolder. You basically hold the soldering iron there, pull the wire out, and I'll put the phone down in a second, we'll just transfer it. So I always transfer, this earth here into the earth, the SC1 there, because that screws to the chassis. So you know what I mean, it's one of those. And then literally this comes with the kit, which goes out. I'll show you which one. It will go in any slot actually, but the manual is it does tell you which one to put it in. And also, just a word, when you pull the display out, it comes on this grommet here. I found, again through trial and error, don't try and push that through the grommet. Leave it as it is, because as daft as it is, well, 2 or 3 I've tried to get that through the grommet, with the grommet in the machine, and it breaks the connector, which then you're in the whole world of pain. So it's easier to get a slot head and just lift the grommet, because the grommet's got to go back on anyway, because all you'll have to do then is slide the earth through, because obviously the grommet's to stop the crap going into the machine. So what I'll do, guys, I'll just transfer that over to this one here, and then I'll show you how we thread it through the machine. Be back in a sec. Hi guys, right, we're back. So I'll just reiterate again, right, just in case people obviously don't understand. This grommet comes in the machine. Now when I say don't try and pull that through the grommet, I mean when that grommet is still in the machine. Yeah, because this ribbon cable here is not, it won't be going back into the machine, because it will be connected by this here. But you've got to remove that anyway, because you really struggle pulling that through while that is in the machine. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've all soldered the earth on. Now you need a pretty, I use one of these soldering irons, because they go pretty hot, because you find that the solder that they use doesn't generally come off with a normal soldering iron. Got to be pretty hot. So once you get it to above 400, I think it is, I just put a bit more normal solder on, and then the lot will just pull out. So the next one, because I'm going to have to obviously put the phone down when I do this, is that connection there. If you have a look, goes onto that connection there. Yeah, it's the only 4-pinner. The other one is for if you want to fit the remote control or the Bluetooth foot pedal, and I can tell you that is an even bit of a bit of a faff. The sides have to come off because it's just so difficult for the access. So we'll put the phone down, guys, and then what we'll do, we'll thread the connection into here, we'll earth it, and we'll put the screw back, and I'll show you what it looks like. Right, guys, and as thought, as what I said at the beginning of the video, the side has to come off. I've tried my best with the instructions through the front, and it's never ever gonna happen because the bend on the cable and the isolator, the block inductor, you can't grab it. It's just, if you push it through the front, I can tell you you're going to need 6 legs and 6 arms to put that on, so it ain't going to happen. So if you remove the side, which is easy, which that's generally the way I do, we should have done it from the beginning, and then what you can do then is you can just fit it, it's easily, you can just reach it dead easy there. You can tuck the grommet back, feed it through, and then you've got the wire coming out the front, which then, once we plug onto the display, guys, which is the inside connector, once we then thread the earth through, it's a case of push it back and we screw it in. So be right back, guys. Hi guys, and it's on. So this is basically the panel on here. It's really smooth. System settings. We'll go to, let's have a look what we've got. Been a long time. Sleep mode response time, we'll knock that off for 5 minutes because electricity bills going up and up. So not that minimum. Voltage protection switch, we'll leave that turned off. Smart gas switch, that should be off. Yeah, that is, I think this one does, it guesses the pre and post flow. Control mode, local and remote. Now then, just a quick touch on this one. Now, obviously, I've got the foot pedal with this one, but I've got a wired one, not a Bluetooth. I've had Bluetooth before, and I prefer the wired. And the reason for that is, if you guys follow me on Insta, I think there'll be a link down below. I do a lot of model art stuff, intricate welding. Now, with a remote, with a foot pedal, with a variable, it's no good because of the thin stuff. It's just, you don't get as much control. Now, the thing is, which is different with models, is most models that you get, once you connect a Bluetooth pedal like on this one, the machine automatically becomes variable and you can't turn that off. Now with a wired foot pedal on this one, you can, because if I select that to remote, the thing will work as a variable. If I leave it on local, it will work as a switch. So technically then we're using the up slope, down slope. Now again, price matches with EWMs. I'll just touch on these because people ask me. Is I got the Bluetooth and the wired foot pedal for them. Now the Bluetooth again is the dogs. Really, you can use it whatever. You set the machine. Bluetooth you can use it as a switch because you've got to do the spot arc and knock it off that. But there's a massive price point, guys, between them. And then what I'm going to do in the next day, I'm on holiday in a couple of days, is I keep getting questions, which is one of the reasons why I got another one of these. Is what's the difference and what do I recommend between them and them. Now obviously guys, not everyone can afford them because they are quite expensive. Are these as good? And I'll be honest with you, to a certain extent they are, yes. Duty cycle won't be there. The build quality is probably not quite there. You can see with the size of the machines. However, they're a 230 amp machine. They're a 200 amp machine where the settings on there were the kind of aerospace welding. There's stuff on there that 99% of people just won't use. So this one will narrow it down. Weld wise, obviously that'll weld thicker, more amp. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a fur comparison at something like 2 to 3 mil, which that's probably what most guys out there probably be TIG welding, something like that. Might do some 15 gauge actually. So it gives a fair comparison, and I bet, for me anyway, when I do the weld on them and I do the weld on this one, I bet they look the same. So a lot of the time, it's nothing to do with, to a certain point, it's nothing to do with the welder, welding machine, should I say. It's usually the guy holding the torch. So obviously, I get guys in using them and vice versa, they can't weld for toffee and they bring their own Amazon sets and they're quite alright with it. So in the next up and coming days, guys, I'm going to run some steel straight with this one side by side. So I'll go through a little bit of the panel, refresh my memory. So if we go back on here, language, make sure I'm on English. Oh, excuse me. And we'll go back to home. So obviously we go on to AC, because everyone just loves AC, don't they? So obviously you can go through the parameters at the top here now. Now this here, I'm used to this setting because this setting is exactly like the ESAB 205. So whereas you set it down, the parameters is exactly like the ESAB. Now, like I was saying to you earlier in the video, the difference between this one and the normal panel is this one you got memory functions, the normal panel you don't. Other than that, the settings are just more understandable on here. So if we go example, we go to parameter settings. Now then, you've got your 2T40, because it will tell you, so you've got your spot, vice versa. So you've got waveform selection, you've got the normal stuff, you've got the pulse switch on or off, arc striking, HF, and then you've got the fan. So obviously I can click it with it when I've got the water cooler, vice versa. Now if I go to click on them, so 20 Hertz AC frequency, when guys come here, I knock them back down to 60, which all the old machines used to be. Now everyone, if you read the internet, everyone goes, ooh, 100 Hertz, 120. And I'll be honest with you, when you guys are starting off and you're doing fillet welds, you're better off starting at 60, because the puddle's wider, it's smoother, and without manipulating the torch, you'll get both metals to kind of blend in. So what I might show you after, when I get them both up, is at 60 Hertz, I can pretty much weld a 3mm fillet with no filler, whereas 120 Hertz you can't, because it starts messing around. So I always start the guys off on 60 Hertz. Now what I can tell you, what I've had before, the magic number on the balance on these guys is about 35, 36, and I used to, and before I did it time and time again with it, different things. So that's also I can tell you on AC. But I'm not going, I mean, this one was about how to fit a panel, guys. So in the next couple of days, I'll do a follow up to this one. I'll have them both on, and then what we'll do a bit of welding with both, and you guys can choose, because price difference is massive. There's no point in paying for that when this one will do the job. So cheers for watching, guys. I hope that helps people who want to upgrade the panel. Don't forget, if you're unsure and you're local to me, drop me a message, mate, pop it round and I'll fit it where you can have some tea and biscuits. I've not got a problem. So see you till next time, guys. Bye.